Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back again. Today I'm going to tell you about a strange and scary forest. A husband and wife had a big fight, and because of that, the wife ran away without thinking where she was going. They forgot that not every forest is safe and not every animal can be trusted. This place was full of hidden forces that confuse people so badly they can't find their way out. They get stuck there for years, lost in a web of illusions, and in the end, they disappear forever. But what exactly is this power? What is the secret behind it? Let's find out. So Mary was very upset with her husband Jason. Last night during Jason's promotion party, he did something really embarrassing. Mary felt so insulted that she decided she wanted a divorce. Jason kept trying to explain that he didn't mean to do anything wrong, that it was all because he was drunk. But Mary didn't want to hear any of it. She was so angry she didn't even want to look at him. She just started running away and reached the shore of an empty, quiet lake. The lake looked beautiful, but there was a signboard that said, "Entry prohibited." Mary thought maybe someone was playing a prank by putting that board there because she reached the place so easily. Even though they were fighting, they still took some selfies near the lake, but the photos didn't help Mary's mood at all. She said she never imagined that after so many years of marriage, Jason would do something so shameful. Jason kept repeating that he was not in control of himself and everything happened because of alcohol. After arguing for some time, they noticed a strange man standing by the lake. He was wearing a white hoodie and looked like he was searching for something in the grass. Mary didn't care much and kept walking, but after a few minutes, Mary felt a sharp pain in her head. At the same time, Jason also felt the same pain. They both sat down on the ground holding their heads, wondering how they could both have a headache at the exact same time. Luckily, after a little while, they started feeling normal again. But Mary was still upset, so she started walking fast to get away. Jason couldn't keep up with her anymore. He decided to take a shortcut through some thick bushes so he could get ahead of her and maybe calm her down. While Mary was still walking, something very strange happened to her. She suddenly noticed she was standing again in the exact spot where they took the selfie earlier. It was like she had been walking in a big circle without even realizing it. Jason had a creepy experience too. While he was taking the shortcut, he felt like someone pushed him very hard from behind, even though no one was there. He got scared and moved away quickly. Then he saw a rusty old bucket sitting in the grass. Inside the bucket was some weird, thick liquid that definitely didn't look like water. Even more shocking, he noticed Mary's earphones lying on the ground next to it. Jason felt a chill in his spine when he saw them because he knew Mary had been wearing them just moments ago. Soon, they both bumped into each other again near the same lake. Mary told Jason that no matter which way she tried to walk, she always ended up coming back to the same place. Jason thought maybe she was just very angry and imagining things. He tried to calm her down and said, "Okay, let's try another path together." So they held hands and started walking in a new direction, carefully choosing a different trail. But to their shock, after some time, they were standing again at the same spot where they took the selfie. Jason finally realized Mary was telling the truth. Something strange was happening in that forest. "There's something really strange about this place," Jason said. Then he had an idea. "Let's walk in opposite directions. Whoever finds the way out first can call for the other one." They agreed and went separate ways. But only a few minutes later, they somehow met again in the same spot. This time, Jason seemed a little different. He looked at Mary and quietly said, "Wait here, I'll be back." While he walked away, Mary looked at the lake. For a moment, she thought someone was swimming in the water, but she knew there was a sign that clearly said, "No swim." Why would anyone swim here? Suddenly, out of nowhere, Jason came back again. Now he looked normal. He told Mary he had just gone to the toilet. They decided to try walking again. But again, no matter how far they walked, they ended up in the same place. Jason started to think maybe someone was playing a trick on them. He thought maybe the warning sign was moved just to scare people. To check, he grabbed the sign and tried to pull it out of the ground, but it didn't move even a little. It was stuck tight, like it was part of the earth itself. That's when they both realized this was no joke. Something was seriously wrong here. "We need to call the police," Jason said. Mary took out her phone. But as she tried to dial, her earphone slipped from her pocket and fell to the ground. Then she looked at the phone screen and felt a shock. There was no signal. Jason checked his phone too. Nothing. No service at all. They thought maybe if they walked a little farther, they could find some signal. So they started walking again. But then they saw something that made their hearts stop. Right in front of them was a tall, black shadow. Its shape was strange and very scary. Jason felt cold all over, as if the blood in his body had frozen. They turned and ran as fast as they could. When they finally stopped, they looked back. The shadow was gone. But on the ground were two sets of earphones. Mary picked up one. It was definitely hers. But the other one looked exactly the same. Whose could it be? They decided not to try going in opposite directions again. Instead, they would walk straight ahead and not turn back. By now, the sun was high in the sky, It was getting very hot and it was hard to keep walking. Jason was so tired that he had to sit down to rest. Mary was still angry. She told Jason that everything was his fault. She said if he hadn't drunk too much last night and acted badly, they wouldn't be stuck here. Jason didn't answer. He felt too tired and ashamed to argue anymore. He just kept looking around, trying to see any way out. After a long time of searching, Jason finally saw something that looked like a path. "Look over there!" he shouted. Mary turned to look, and she felt hope for the first time. Maybe they had finally found the way out. They both felt happy and a little relieved. At least now they had a chance to escape this nightmare. When they pushed the bushes aside, they saw the lake again. It was the same lake with the same signboard. Jason felt so weak he almost fell over. They both started crying, wondering what bad moment had led them here. But they knew they couldn't just keep wandering forever. They had to find a way out somehow. While they were thinking about what to do next, they suddenly heard someone laughing. A voice called out, "Go away from here, or you will keep searching for yourselves." They looked around scared, trying to see who was speaking, but they couldn't find anyone. Then another voice laughed loudly. When they followed the sound, they saw a black shadow again. This time, they didn't run away. They tried to talk to it, but it didn't move or respond. Jason even threw a stone at it, but nothing happened. Mary gathered courage and touched it, but still, the shadow stayed silent. They were feeling terrified when suddenly another black shadow appeared behind them. This one looked exactly like Jason, wearing the same clothes and having the same face. Even the first shadow turned to look at it. Seeing this made their hearts pound with fear, but something even worse happened next. Before they could understand what was going on, Jason saw that the shadow behind him killed Mary in an instant. Jason froze in horror. Without thinking, he ran away as fast as he could. While running, he bumped into something he couldn't see clearly, but he didn't stop. He kept running until he came right back to the same lake. There, to his shock, Mary was standing alive as if nothing had happened. Seeing her made his head spin. This time, he decided not to panic. He told Mary to wait there and that he'd be back soon. He hurried to the place where he had seen her dead body, but there was nothing there. No sign of anything. He couldn't believe it. He had seen her die with his own eyes. Was it all a dream or some strange trick? He forced himself to stay calm, returned to the lake, and found Mary still standing there. He asked her what she was doing. She simply replied, "I've been here the whole time. Where did you go?" Jason took a deep breath and, trying to hide his fear, said the same excuse again, that he had just gone to the toilet. Now Jason was sure this was not the same Mary he had come here with, but even so, he knew they had to escape. He started walking again, looking for a way out. While searching, he saw marks on the ground, like something heavy had been dragged across the dirt. He stopped to look closely. Maybe someone had pulled a body here. As he was trying to figure it out, someone hit him hard from behind. Everything went black, and he fell unconscious. When he woke up, the same Mary was standing over him. She started hitting him again and again with a stick until he finally died. But wait, was it really Mary hitting Jason, or Jason hitting Mary? What was happening here? Let me explain. The truth is, this murder was done by both Jason and Mary together. It was their first killing, and you could tell by how nervous they looked. They did it because the nights were getting cold, and they didn't have warm clothes. That's why they decided to do such a terrible thing. But one question remained. How many more copies of Jason and Mary were wandering around this forest? Was there ever going to be an end to this nightmare? After washing the blood off their hands and feet, they suddenly heard shouting. They followed the sound and saw another Jason and Mary, freshly trapped, arguing with each other in the same endless maze. Seeing this, the couple realized the truth. Maybe this new pair would survive longer than the others. Jason felt proud of that thought, but Mary was tired. She was scared that someday she might be killed by another fake Jason. Jason tried to comfort her. He promised he would protect her and told her she just had to trust him. Meanwhile, that same new couple appeared again, but this time it was only Mary, standing in front of an older Jason who looked very nervous. Then another Jason came out of the trees. He looked even older than the first. Suddenly, a deadly fight broke out between the three of them. They fought so fiercely that all three were killed. Watching all this, the other Jason and Mary started to feel worried. They couldn't even remember how long they had been stuck in this place. They also wondered why it never seemed to get dark in this forest. Was there no night here at all? Then once again, they heard the same voice calling out, telling them to run because someone else had been killed. But now it didn't scare them anymore. They had seen and heard it too many times to even react. This only meant that another couple had reached their end. Tired but still hoping for something different, they decided to keep moving forward along the same path. Maybe this time, something new would happen. And finally, something did. They found a strange little hut. It was built out of old jackets and earphones, somehow stitched together to make walls and a roof. The jackets and earphones clearly belonged to many Jasons and Marys. Jason gave a half laugh and said, "Well, I guess this is the best use of earphones ever. Old really is gold." He joked that if Mary had been using AirPods instead, the story might have ended right there. But deep down, they were both shocked. They hadn't built this hut. That meant someone else had come before them and made it. But where were those people now? They decided to look inside. There they found an old photo. It was a picture of them taking a selfie by the lake. But in the background, someone was standing in the water, staring right at them. Just then, they smelled something strange. Jason quickly turned on his phone flashlight to see what it was. They turned the flashlight and saw something horrible. Mary's rotting body lying in the corner, holding a baby. This meant the body was even older than them. Seeing this, they finally accepted that it was impossible to ever leave this place alive. Tears filled their eyes. Just then, someone came up quietly behind them. He killed Jason in an instant. It was the same Jason they had seen the very first time. Mary ran away in terror. As she was running, she tripped over another dead body, and her whole face was covered in blood. Shaking, she reached the lake again and wondered if maybe she could escape by swimming across to the other side. She didn't think too long. She made up her mind quickly and jumped into the water. When she climbed out on the opposite shore, she was horrified. There were human corpses everywhere, scattered in the mud. But in the middle of them was something that looked different. Mary walked closer to see what it was. Suddenly, a person in black attacked her. When she looked up, she realized the attacker was another Mary, the oldest one of all, who had turned into a cannibal. A little later, we see this cannibal Mary dragging the dead Mary's body into the same tent made of jackets and earphones. Jason was sitting inside, waiting. Together, the two of them began to eat the dead Mary. This showed that the nightmare never ends. It just repeats over and over like a time loop. This whole forest was a trap stuck in time. But will it always be only Jason and Mary who end up here? No. One day other people might also wander in, get lost, and become prey. Or maybe they'll become hunters themselves. Anything is possible in this cursed place. Tell us in the comments how you like the story. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.